What's up, internet people? My name is Moshe from InterSys, and today we're gonna do a tutorial on how to create Melodic PsyTrance lead from Serum. Before we start, please subscribe to our YouTube channel to get more content like this, and also let us know in the comments what do you want to see next. Do you want to see tutorials on other leads, effects, pads, bass lines, how to create melodies? Let us know in the comments and we will do our best to supply these tutorials. Also, note that the preset we're going to be synthesizing today is available for free download in the description below in our website, so go grab it up yourself. But I do recommend to follow along the tutorials and maybe learn some useful tips and tricks on how to create melodies with Serum. Also note that this preset is part of our Melodic PsyTrance presets for Serum volume number 2, which will be released in the upcoming weeks. Volume 1 is already available, so if you want to, go to our website and grab it yourself. Without further ado, let's get started with the tutorial. So let's start off by listening to what we're going to create. So that's our patch, and without further ado, let's start by initiating the patch and start from scratch. So menu, init preset, and now let's start. So we start with the saw wave on the left hand, a simple saw wave, and we want to have a full unison. So stretch the unison to 16. Before we start, I want to say that everything I just tell you is you can change it. You can play with the values and see what fits you. So detune, let's make it 0.02. You can drag the knobs to the value you see, or you can double click any knob and then just enter it with the keyboard. It's more accurate and even simpler. So 16 voices, detune 0.02. And let's take the volume to minus 10 dB. And that's basically it. Let's go to oscillator 2. So we'll select the waveform under digital, that's called SSQ. It's over here. And let's change the wavetable position all the way up. And now let's set the unison to 16 here as well. 0.02 here, low detune, and the bend here and also in A is 60. So that's the blend. Means that we are blending more of the two main voices and all the rest are in less volume. The level of this will be minus 8 dB. We will change the level of those later with the modulation. So, and also one last thing is take the octave down. Let's hear it with the low octave. It sounds nice. Let's continue. Next, let's set up the sub oscillator. So turn it on. Use the saw wave. Let's do minus 10 dB. Something like that. And like 20%. That's the level, and minus 1 on the octave. Okay. Next, let's do the noise. So turn on noise, and we will select an analog and J106 HP. That's the noise type. We'll start by changing the phase to 28%, 30%, 29%. And the random will go to 38%. And now we'll take the pitch up to around 60, 59. And the level will take all the way down, and we're going to modulate this with the envelope. So let's set up the envelope. So we want this relatively middle decay, so 350 milliseconds, something like that. And let's set the sustain to minus 40 dB. Release is very short here. And now let's use this envelope. It's going to be our main modulation source. So let's send it to some places. So first of all, let's send it to the noise level, and I set it to 85, something like that. And now let's set up the filter. So we're going to use an 18 dB per octave low pass filter. Let's turn on all the sound sources to go through the filter and set the cutoff to 43. Set the resonance to somewhere around 15%, 16%. Drive will be 30, 33, and FET will be also 30, 31 here. And now it's completely closed. And now let's set the envelope on the cutoff filter, and I want it to be somewhere around 44. So starting to get there, let's continue. So we're complete with the filter, and now let's go to the effects section. So we will start with a distortion, a very subtle distortion. So we'll use tube. I really like the tube. It's very subtle, but it gives it a character. So we'll leave the drive on 25 and just take down the mix to about 9 o'clock, like 83%. And now let's use the envelope to modulate the drive. Not a lot. So this will give us a good transient attack. The beginning will be very aggressive, and that's how we like this lead. Let's continue. The next effect we're going to use will be a compressor. So turn it on, take it up, and all I want to do is change the gain here to be 7.5 dB. Let's take down the master a bit. So the compressor will be giving us some restraint on like a lot of fluctuations in the volume. Let's continue. Hyper dimension. I'll take the mix of the hyper part down to 0, and the dimension is gonna be somewhere here. I really like this effect. It gives a lot of volume to your lead when they are closed and plucky. Makes it a bit more interesting. Next, let's set up an EQ. So take it up. The left side is going to be a high pass filter, and we'll start by setting the frequency to 122. The Q value, we will set it around 50, and we'll cut off the entire low end. And now on the right end, I'm going to use a high shelf. 1400, that's the frequency, and the Q has no meaning here, and I'm going to put 4.5 dB increase. So we get a little bit more shiny high end. Next, let's set up reverb and delay. And so we start with the reverb. In the reverb section, I just want to lower the low cut to take off some low frequencies. So 20%, that's fine. And let's take up the mix somewhere around 29. And next, let's set up a delay. So the delay, we're going to be setting it up to 1/8. So I like to do link 1/8 and dotted, and on ping pong. And okay, so that's nice. Next, let's turn on the filter and put it before the reverb and the delay. So a filter here is going to be 12 dB per octave. Let's set up the cutoff frequency to be around 155. And it closes down everything, no resonance, and we're going to have around 20, 18 drive, and again like 16 on the FET. So now let's complete the modulation part. So we are going to do the envelope send effect. We're going to send it. We send it to the drive sub oscillator level. See, and we'll do somewhere around 55. Let's turn down the delay a bit. Nice. And okay, what am I missing here? So again, we have the sub oscillator and the oscillator V volume go all the way up. Cool. So now another thing I want to use is the macro. Macro is just a knob that allows you to control multiple knobs simultaneously. So we'll start using that. So we'll start with the effect section, and we're going to drag this on the high pass filter, but instead of taking it up, we want to take it down, -10, something like that. Okay, so that means that when I'm taking this macro up, the frequency is actually going down, so we get more low frequencies. We'll do the same for the Q value, and we're gonna do, so you see when you drag it like this and it happens this is called omnidirectional, so it goes both ways. We don't want that. In order to change it, you go to matrix and you find the modulation you just clicked, and you can click here. Now you see it goes only up or only down, so we want to take it -30 something. Nice. Next, let's take down the reverb mix when it's open, sorry. So we'll take the reverb mix to be -20. So that means that when we open the sound, and it will be more full and with a lot more harmonies, the reverb will actually go down. So that's nice. And we're gonna do the same for the mix of the delay, because we want it to be less wet. So we take down the delay mix, something around -17. Cool. Then let's open up the cutoff. So set it to the cutoff frequency of the filter in the effect. Cool. Next, let's go back to the oscillator section and start opening the actual filter with this. So the filter itself, let's do +44. So we're starting to get there. And next, I want the sound when it opens to have more detune into it, but a little bit. So set it to the detune and maybe something around 10 here, and also can do 14 here. It's more squeaky. I like it like that. Next, let's do oscillator A level, so we have more of the sawtooth. And we're almost there. Just the other thing I want to do is actually to make the decay longer, so we don't have this decay-ish sound. When we open, I want it to be with almost full velocity, so around 30. Okay, now let's hear it again. Well, we are totally complete. The only thing left here is to call this cutoff or open or whatever we would like. And that's basically it. So I really hope you enjoyed it. As we said, this is a part of our Melodic PsyTrance leads in the Melodic PsyTrance preset for Serum. You can download this one for free, so go to the description and download it for free, or you can get the entire package and support the channel by taking it from our website. Thank you very much for joining me, and I hope you learned something.